Ready, set, go. Well, Bant Spirits is the deck. All right, so we're finally playing a Bant color deck that doesn't have the One Ring in it. So what is this deck trying to do? Well, it is a tribal aggro deck that is playing, of course, Aether Vial and then Noble Hierarch because, hey, this is the only mono dork in your colors. And it's not a spirit, but what can you do? Mausoleum Wanderer, which either grows temporarily or counters certain spells. Selfless Spirit to protect from wraths. Rattle Chains as a hexproof thing and lets you flash in your other stuff. Shacklegeist to tap stuff down. And then Supreme Phantom is the first lord. Drogskell Captain is the other lord that also gives hexproof. Skyclave Apparition to exile stuff. Spell Queller to counter things, kind of. Glasspull Mimic as a land/clone. Kira Great Glass Spinner as another protection piece. And then, of course, Coco for the rest of it. Not sure how good this is going to do now that we're in the super hypercharged ring meta post-Horizons sets, but this is what we got. Sideboard, Burnt Forge Tender to protect from red spells, Hallowed Moonlight for graveyards and creativity, Spell Pierce, Spreading Seas for land matchups, Veil Summer, Endurance for graveyards, Force of Vigor for artifacts and enchantments. And then land base, nothing fancy, pretty much stock Bant colors with Cavern of Souls to get our guys through counter spells. Is this just Pioneer Spirits with Aether Vial? It is, yeah, I guess all of the, except for Noble Hierarch, but Noble Hierarch and Aether Vial, and then everything else. Akira's not legal in Pioneer either. All right, so let's jump into dying to Bowmaster really, really hard. Yikes, the last Modern League dump Spirit showed up in was in January. Yeah, it's not looking great, but we're going to do it. I'm just thinking, should I try to jam Curious Obsession into this deck? What would I cut if I did that? What's the Coco count? It is 32, so I can afford to cut some creatures. It's just like the stock on X1s has become so bad with Bowmasters in the format, so I'm actually inclined to just go... So I'm inclined to cut Selfless, Shacklegeist, and one of the Rattle Chains to just shove 4 Curious Obsessions into the deck. Yeah, let's just high roll this. And then I will... People are not playing anywhere near the same amount of like sweepers as they used to. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then we still have 28 Coco hits. Yeah, let's try that. All right, round 1 on the play. This looks good. Turn 1, Noble Hierarch. Turn 2, double Spirits plus a Spirit Lord plus Coco. Yeah, definitely good. All right, so Flooded Strand, Fetch Shock. What do I need? Second White Source, probably. Yeah, I have the Glasspull Mimic in my hand, which I might play as a land anyway. So let's get Temple Garden, Shock, cast Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Plains, Aether Vial. So D&T question mark? That would be my guess. All right, let's shock this in, play Wanderer, play Phantom, and then pass it back to them and hope we either draw another land for Coco on curve or just play this tapped and hopefully play something else. We either draw a 4th land for Coco or we draw a different card. Thalia. Well, that's going to take our Coco off for a while. So I guess it's probably humans. Ooh, Drogskell Captain. All right. Play Drogskell. Play this as a... You know what? Do I even play this as a land anymore? Yeah, okay, I should still play it as a land. Because I can clone the other one next turn. All right, combat. Go, Spirits. We're in the Boomer Magic queue. Yeah, Spirits versus Aether Vial humans. Well, we're going to win in the air before they win, though. Because we've got, you know, all these lords out. And I can glass pull in another lord. Okay, so it is D&T with... it's green D&T, basically. Non-basics enter tapped, only 1 spell a turn. And then they're going to flash in something. All right, there's a land for Coco, so I should probably... What is the damage in the air if I copy this lord? It's 5 blocks here, and then it's 4, 8. Let's just Coco. It's the most mana-efficient play. All right, Drogskell Kira. How big is Kira? It's a 2/2. Drogskell Kira. Yield to these triggers. Combat. Swing. So they block there. They take 7 down to 7, and then we have just a massive board for next turn. Opponent puts Samwise into play and gets back Archon. All right. Thalia is the ring bearer. Field of Ruin. So they have an Archon that they can violin. All right, yeah, we won. So D&T. Literally nothing here is useful. Like literally nothing. Is there anything main that isn't useful? No. All right, let's just run the exact same thing back. All right, we have no lands, so that we must mull. All right, this is a bit awkward. I'm probably putting back Curious Obsession, but I'm not sure. So it's going to be land noble, land, put probably just Spell Queller. Maybe not. Maybe I put a land back? I don't know. They're playing D&T. They're trying to strip us of our lands. I don't want to put a land back. Yikes. All right. Maybe I do just put a land back. So I can put back Hallowed Fountain, and then I can go fetch shock. No, I need to have fetch shock, get a breeding pool, cast Noble Hierarch, and then Cavern in. They like just turn 2 strip us. I don't know. I'm going to put Hallowed Fountain back. So I googled how league matchmaking works in MTGO, and it is based on your win-loss ratio for the league. It also factors in how long you've been queuing, so it'll become more lenient if you've been waiting a while and prevent you from queuing against the same person if both of you are in the same league as last time, and it's based on your win-loss ratio specifically, so being 0-0 is equivalent to being 2-2, for example. Well, thank you for acquiring that information. All right, breeding pool, shock, cast Noble Hierarch, and then pass it back. And then Spell Queller gets worse and worse as Aether Vial goes up, so I'm probably just jamming out Drogskol Captain next turn and attempting to just get both of the Drogskulls online. Maybe not. I guess they don't... Ooh, Stoneforge. Oh no. Okay, so they're going to race us with Cauldron now. Sword of Fire, nice. That might be even worse. All right, Cavern, name Spirit. So what can I do now? They're going to have Sword plus Vial. So holding Spell Queller up doesn't seem very good. But then again, they might just... Yeah, okay, let's just play Drogskull. Drogskull, pass it back. Violin, a 1-drop. Giver of Runes. Okay. So they can't equip the sword this turn, but they can equip it next turn, which will screw over our Noble Hierarch. Yeah, so Stoneforge. Oh, they had Cauldron already. All right, so we're really losing now. All right, so I need to draw a land ASAP. So let's Curious Obsession our Drogskull, and then let's just attack here and draw a card, see if I can hit a land. So take them to 16, draw a card. All right, we drew a land, so let's shock this in. So we cannot prevent them from getting the sword on Cauldron, so let's just get more lords into play. All right, pass the turn. All right, they had nothing to violin at least. So if they have a 4th land, they can go Stoneforge equip. All right, not blocking the Cauldron, clearly. We go to 5, and I can't really race it, so how am I not just losing to this Cauldron next turn? They're going to flash in the sword. They have Giver of Runes as well. So I can Curious Obsession this guy, attack with... So I can't block. I guess I can block with Noble, right? But it has Trample as well. Yeah, so it's going to just trample over and kill me. So I need to draw something. All right, combat. Swing. We get to draw 2 cards. Land's not going to do it, and a land's not going to do it. All right, play a land, pass. Stoneforge in the sword. Vialing in. Another Stoneforge, okay. What is the last equipment they're going to get? Cauldron, Sword of Fire and Ice. Sword of Light and Shadow. Move the sword onto Stoneforge. Interesting. I still can't block that anyway. So that's 5 damage just from this. Can't block it. I can block this, but I still die to sword. All right, yeah, they got it. Back to game 3. I still think none of this is relevant. Even with the Stoneforges getting artifacts, one of them is Cauldron, which just can't even destroy anyway. So let's just... It doesn't look like they're interacting with me either, though. So maybe I can not play Kira, and I play 1 Force of Vigor, and not play the Rattle Chains, because that also doesn't matter, and just up the Force of Vigor so I can blow up their swords. I guess they have Aether Vial as well, so these are more relevant. All right, let's run this. Game 3 on the play. All right, looks good. We have ramp into stuff, so let's keep this. Opponent mulls to 6. All right, Flooded, Fetch Shock, get a Temple Garden, and then play Noble, passing the turn. Opponent plays Forest, Aether Vial, yep. Ooh, that's so awkward. All right, I think I just go Cavern on Spirits, hold Spell Queller up. Cavern on Spirit, pass. And then I'm going to Queller regardless of what happens. All right, Aether Vial goes up to 1 counter. Land, all right, Gadok Teague, cast this. Steal your Teague. Ooh, all right. I'm going to stop on their upkeep. I'm going to force that. So let's just go. Let's make sure this can't get killed. So let's just play a Drogskull Captain. And then play this tapped. And then attack with Spell Queller. Take 4 and then force this in the upkeep. All right. Activate Force. So Aether Vial is gone, and now we have Air Superiority with Curious Obsession next turn. Plays Gavany Township, and then just passes it back? Huh. Alright, Supreme Phantom. Let's suit Curious Obsession up to this. What can they have? They don't have Endurance mana. Then go to combat. Swing here and here. Viseiju the Curious, sure. Grab a Hallowed Fountain, I guess. And then get in for 7. They go to 9. And we have 9 damage in the air for next turn, so they have to have a way of killing one of our lords. All right, we drew a Spell Queller, so looking solid. Swing, swing, swing. Opponent has Solitude. All right, hitting our Drogskull. All right, so we get in for 4. All right, they go to 5, pass back the turn with Spell Queller up. Opponent casts Samwise to get the Solitude back. Hell nah. All right, we won. Our first round with Bant Spirits went better than expected. All right, we are on the draw, but this is a solid hand, so I will keep. Steam Vents, Ragavan. Well, Ragavan is annoying, but We're at least going to... All right, so I should play around Blood Moon. So let's go grab a Plains or a forest. I guess a Plains. Plains, cast Aether Vial. All right, go ahead. All right, Ragavan hits us. We go to 17. They exile Drog Skull, which they are actually capable of casting. And it looks... No, they're just going to play Ledger Shredder? Okay. Bauble, Connive Trigger. So they put Counterspell away. They draw with their Bauble. Then we tick Aether Vial up. Well, there's Curious Obsession, but we're just going to play Supreme Phantom. And then pass, ready to flash out Noble Hierarch. Island. All right, bolting our Phantom. Makes sense. So we get hit by Ragavan and Ledger. We go to 13. They get a treasure token. Exiling Coco. Cast Consider, Connive with Ledger Shredder. They put Spell Snare in the graveyard. Then they get to Resolve Consider. They surveilled a Misty Rainforest into the graveyard. All right, activate Vial. Put Noble Hierarch into play. I guess maybe they're debating whether to sack this treasure to just kill this now. I'm going to cast almost certainly... Yeah, okay. Unholy. I'm going to almost certainly just cast Skyclave and eat the Shredder. All right, Aether Vial, tick up to 2. Yeah, all right. So shock this in, Skyclave, eat your Shredder, and pass it back. And then I'll just block Ragavan. Maybe I shouldn't, though. I get Spirits next turn. Okay, yeah, let's just actually take the hit. This can become big enough that it can just block Ragavan normally. All right, we're at 9. They exile the land. Bauble, cracking a Bauble. Plays Fiery Islet, passing it back to us. All right, Bauble resolves. They draw a card, then let's put a counter on Aether Vial. Did they draw a removal spell off of that and they're just going to shoot this before I tick this up? Petty Theft on Vial. So annoying. Yep. Well, now we can't do anything with that. So, all right. I drew Kira, which I can't play, so I'm just going to play Drog Skull. And then I'll just pass, so I have a blocker here. They're cracking their Fiery Islet. All right, so I guess they have removal for Drog Skull, but I'm just going to block anyway. Like, what am I going to do? They have the removal. Yeah, Bolt, and then we trade. Then they get a 2-2. All right, another land. Back to us. It's going to take so long to take Aether Vial back up to the max counters, but just jamming Drog Skull out here is not great. I also should get more mana with this Noble Hierarch, so let's just go Aether Vial here, play Noble Hierarch, casting Consider in response, surveilling away DRC, sure. And then pass it back to the opponent, and then next turn I can start redeploying. I'm going to take 2 from this thing, and then more from the Brazen. Dashing a Ragavan. Well, I'm not blocking, so go to 5, Ragavan triggers. They exiled Aether Vial, plays a land, Ragavan bounces back to hand. Okay. Tick up Vial. Ooh, Collected Company. All right, so I'm just going to stop on their upkeep, I guess, so they don't have time to draw a counter. They'll probably flash Brazen Borrower at the end step, and then I'll respond to that. Fetch, Steam Vents tapped. No, they're just not? All right, I'll do it now then. Oh, come on. They have the counter spell as the other card in their hand. Okay, opponent. Ragavan 1 mystery card that they haven't played this entire game, and it's Spell Pierce. Now we go to 1. And this actually gets them the treasure for the Brazen Borrower, so we have to have 3 blockers in play next turn. All right, Ragavan bounce, put a counter here. What do we draw? Queller. Well, I guess I just have to pass holding Queller up. Yeah, pass holding Queller up. All right, so they're going to flash Brazen Borrower, and then I'm going to respond with Queller. And now I have to go chump, block Ragavans, unless they draw removal. How many bolts have they been through so far? 2? All right, there's Shredder. They dash Ragavan. They get a Connive trigger. Counterspell in the graveyard. Oh, no, they're not dashing it. They're just playing it normally. Okay. Well, tick Vial up to 3 counters. There's another Aether Vial. So let's see. I put Kira and Drog Skull into play this turn. I can also Curious Obsession something, but I cannot afford to attack my opponent. I also probably can't afford to tap Noble down at all. So I just go cast Drog Skull, Vial out Kira, and I have to keep all these back to block, so I can't attack them. If they have any removal spell, it's actually not a problem, so I can put this other Aether Vial into play, but what does it matter at this point in the game? Block, block, block. What can they have that has haste? Not dashing another Ragavan, so nothing? So let's just play Aether Vial. I guess I don't want to trade my Drog Skull with anything, and I would have to if they attacked with everything. So yeah, I just won't play anything. All right, so we just have to somehow kill them before they ever draw Bolt or Murktide. EI, they put land in the exile, play a land. Murktide, yep. So now they have presumably this is an 8/8. Yep, and we can't attack into that anymore. Right, they don't attack, then it's back to us. No tick up on the Vial. Draw Skyclave Apparition, so I can Skyclave their Shredder, but then I have to just start throwing guys in front of Murktide, which is absolutely terrible. All right, I guess we're in a game of chicken now, so let's just play this, and then I just pass it back. If they attack me, what am I chumping with? I guess probably Kira EI. Found another land, tapped. Plays another Murktide. Well, now we're just super dead. All right, so 8-8, 13-13. We still can't even attack them. So they just swing there. We have to block, so I will block with Kira. All right, activate Vial. Put Skyclave Apparition out. Eat Ledger Shredder. All right, put the Vials on the stack. This one goes up to 1. This one stays the same. All right, Curious Obsession doesn't work, so now it's like chump blocking here, and I'm dead. All right, Endurance, Endurance, Forge Tender to protect from their burn spells, Veil of Summer to protect from their counters, Spell Pierce to counter their EIs and whatnot. That's too many spells, though. So let's see. I'm not confident Curious Obsession plan can ever work when they have so many removal spells. And what does that put our Coco hits to? I have to still cut 5 more cards, right? Skyclave seems kind of meh. Kithkin Wizard, Core Spirit. Okay, so this is still Spirit. Yeah, so Kithkin Wizard, Elemental. Well, I guess it gets better when I have all of these Forge Tenders to protect our creatures. So yeah, maybe keep this here. What is bad? Was there a tempo deck in Modern prior to Ragavan, Murktide, DRC, like Delver and Legacy, or did those 3 cards just force the archetype into existence? Yeah, it didn't exist before. If before you mean like all the way back with Splinter Twin, then it existed then, but it didn't exist after that. There's just too many cards in. I need to cut stuff. What am I cutting? Nobles on turn 1 are fine, but they're really bad after that. So let's get rid of that. Rattle Chains is okay. These are kind of mediocre. How many Coco hits does that leave? 15, 20, 27. I'm more interested in spell piercing their EIs than I am in veiling from their counter spells. And then what's the last card? Rattle Chains is less useful if I have these Forge Tenders in the deck. Or Queller's actually not as useful. All right, submit this. It's not great to counter their stuff only for your Quellers to then get burned out. Wow, this hand's bad. So mulligan this. All right, it's an aggressive hand at least. Keep this and put back Mausoleum Wanderer doesn't curve. So one of these, done. All right, shock this, play Wanderer, then pass. Opponent fetches, Steam Vents, shock, DRC. All right, back to us. Let's play Plains, Supreme Phantom, and then attack them. Combat, attack for 3. Then I can eat this Darcy next turn. Unholy Heat targeting this. Well, yeah. Okay then. Bauble, trigger Surveil again. All right, they have a 3-3 DRC now. No blocks. We take 3, go to 15. Fetching Bauble. It looks like they just don't have a second land yet, but they're probably going to draw one off of all this. All right. Flooded, fetch, Hallowed Fountain, shock, cast Skyclave, kill Darcy off, and then just attack with the Phantom. But we definitely need to draw actual threats and not more lands. Second land, shock. Murktide is a 5-5. Well, we've drawn Dingus, so land past the turn. Cast a Darcy, and then I would just race us at this point, but all right, fetch. Grab the last shock land out of our deck. All right, so let's play Drogskull Captain, a tap land, and then I still can't attack them, so just pass. Opponent plays Consider, Surveil, Ragavan to the graveyard, EI to the graveyard. All right. One land away, or one card type away from DRC. Opponent plays EI, sure. Surveils land to the graveyard, DRC is a 3-3. We just don't have a way to deal with Murktide Regent in this deck, I think. Because the only one is Skyclave Apparitions are a removal spell, and it doesn't deal with Murktide. Spire Bluff, Cast into the Fire and Exile, so they can't use that. Alright, block here. Bolting our guy. Yep. Alright, well, we're just drawing nothing. And we're going to lose to this in the air, so that's the game. On to round number 3. I guess the answer to Murktide in this deck is just Endurance their graveyard beforehand. All right, round 3 on the play. We have actually a decent hand. It's a little awkward curving, but I will keep it. So I need to grab green. I need to grab a Breeding Pool on this one if I want to play turn 1 Mausoleum Wanderer. Opponent mulls to 4. Well, I want to ensure I can play Skyclave on curve, so I'm just going to play this first. We don't even have a guaranteed 2-drop anyway, so that's fine. All right, they just don't have anything. So I guess they're just seeing what we're playing. I guess their hand's really bad and they're just seeing what we're playing. Yeah. Fetch, shock, a Temple Garden. And then let's just play Wanderer and Noble. Pass the turn. Yeah. All right. So they just mulled to 4, didn't have anything going on, and then they were just seeing what we are. So since I have no clue what my opponent is on, they're a deck that can potentially mulligan to 4 and still win. So that tells me they're probably Tron or like some kind of combo deck. So I am going to preemptively put in Spreading Seas and Force of Vigor. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I guess, no, okay, I guess Spreading Seas are, I can just cycle them if they don't not actually useful. And then Spell Pierce is probably more universally useful than Force is. And then I'll cut one Skyclave, one Phantom, one Noble on the draw, maybe 2 Nobles on the draw, or 1 Curious Obsession on the draw. Yeah, all right. So let's try that, and then we'll see what they actually are playing. All right, this hand is not great, especially on the draw. I do have Queller with Cavernous Souls to potentially interact with them, but this hand's just really bad on the curve. Let's just mull this. All right, this is better. So I'm going to keep and bin the Lord. Just keep more interaction. All right, what is our opponent actually on? Misty Rainforest, so not Tron. All right, well, we drew the Lord. I'm going to just shock this in case I need to Spell Pierce something. Opponent fetches. Ketria Triumph. So they're Rhinos, and they just mulled the 4 and didn't have anything? Island. All right. Upkeep Ice us. Yeah, all right. I guess I'm just going to Spell Pierce that so they don't draw a card, since I don't have another blue land anyway. All right, play this. Tapped. Go ahead. Another land. And then there's immediately Shardlessing for the Rhinos. Yep. So then what is my play? Just Skyclave, eat the Shardless Agent? Land. I'm really on the back foot here, so I'm going to take 10, and then what? I need to, like, Collected Company into more Lords next turn, because if I just go Skyclave and then I don't draw a 4th land, I guess I just need to try to draw a 4th land. Eat that. Pass. It's pretty funny that one of the best decks in Modern is just make Rhinos LMAO. Yeah. I think the Cascade rules are ridiculous. They don't make any sense. And I think Violent Outburst is a legitimate problem. Well, Violent Outburst and Force are legitimate problems. All right, well, we can't eat tokens with this, unfortunately. So I guess I just pass with Spell Queller up for whatever it is they're trying to do now, and then just get smashed for another 8. Fetch, Steam Vents, tapped. All right, I'm just going to flash in this Queller regardless of what they do. Shock land, and they played it untapped. Well, I'm not double blocking these, so I just get hit for 8. Yep, go to 2. All right, flash in Spell Queller. What you got? All right, take my turn. Still nothing. So I can play a Lord, and then I can't really block these. Play a Lord. I have enough toughness that I can block, and then they just die. Yeah, let's just go to the next game. All right, Hallowed Moonlight. So let's see. Spreading Seas is not actually useful against them. Spell Pierce is. Noble Hierarch back in. Curious Obsession back in. All their removal is red-based, so Forge Tender is good. Skyclave is actual garbage. What else? Let's cut a Rattle Chains and a Phantom. All right, submit that. Game 3 on the play. All right, that's decent. So keep, and then I think I have to fetch a Shock land first, right? Because I want to go Noble, and then next turn I want to play everything I can. I'm probably just not going to be able to, right? Unless I draw exactly another fetch land or something. So if I grab Hallowed Fountain right now, I can play Wanderer, and then I can go play other stuff next turn. They're probably not going to try to kill my stuff on turn 1. All right, let's play Forest Noble. Opponent plays Stomping Ground. Okay, they are just going to kill it. Sure. Just this land being a basic forest is so awkward. All right, and then we drew the other land anyway. All right, fetch. I guess this can just be Mausoleum Wanderer, right? For Island. What does that stop me from playing? Nothing. All right, just grab an Island, play Mausoleum, and then just pass. And then next turn, I'll just play Forge Tender, Mausoleum, Psycholorian Revealed, Breeding Pool, Shocking it in, Suspend Crashing Footfalls. Okay, so let's go Forge Tender, Mausoleum Wanderer, get the trigger on this, then swing here. And so now we have 2 different Force Spikers for Cascade plus Forge Tender to protect our guys. So Footfalls ticks down, Psycholorian Revealed, grabbing a Triumph. So they're just going to play a Triumph now. Okay. Dead Gone this guy. All right, well, so if they have Fury and I sack this now, then they just sweep the rest of my board up. Okay, yeah, you kill it. All right, back to us. Do another land, so let's play this. And they have Subtlety. Jeez. Yeah, all right. I actually don't want to draw this, though, because I want to draw Company or something better. So I'll put that on the bottom. Play this tapped. Combat, swing with both of these. And now they can actually pay for Rhinos if they Cascade next turn. What'd they exile? Another Subtlety? Opponent fetches. Yep, so they just have it all. Here's the Cascade, and they can pay for it. This is partly why pretty much the Evoke Elementals need to get banned, but they're not going to. All right, we're dead. We take 10, and then just no possible way we can get back into it. All right, on to round number 4. All right, this hand is fine. We're on the draw. All right, we're on playing against Tron, and we're a turn behind, so this is going to be a big issue. All right, land Aether Vial. and then go. There's another one, Mindstone. Mindstone? So maybe it's Dice Factory or E-Tron. Put a counter here. All right, let's just play Phantom. They just cycle Relic. All right, Natural Tron, what do you got? Pop a Mindstone. Play Map. All right, they had nothing else. Put Vial on 2. I can't even Skyclave this, so I guess I'm just holding up Spell Queller. All right, land, combat, swing. Yeah, I guess I'm just holding up Spell Queller in case this is E-Tron or something, and I can hit Karn the Great Creator. That's another one. Blast Zone. All right, plays Blast Zone. Then they're just going to pass it back. Man, it really sucks not to Spell Queller something, but I'm not going to flash in a Spell Queller for no reason. So fetch, what do I want? Green Source plus, yeah, just Green Source. So Temple Garden, tapped, and then back to me. And let's see if they pop it in upkeep. No, they're not. All right. Cavern of Souls, named Spirit. I assume they're just going to pop this Blast Zone, so then I will Vial in a Skyclave for no value, and then just hold up Company / Spell Queller for next turn. Swing. All right, pass it back. Oh, they're just going to put counters on the Blast Zone? Put X charge counters on Blast Zone. Sure. 3 counters. All right. Opponent casts a map. Sure. Plays Crawling Barrens. 4 mana, put 2/1 counters on it. It becomes a 0/0 land creature. What is this deck, guys? It's Tron something. All right, collect a company. Putting not 3 drops into play. Well, I'm going to activate Vial and put Skyclave in and blow this map up, I guess. Cards I own, in quotes, Tron. All right, Vial. Put Skyclave into play. Target a map. Pop the map. They're fetching a tower. All right, back to us. Vial, obviously not taking it up. Ooh, Curious Obsession. Okay, so let's put Curious on a Phantom. And then go to combat. Swing, swing, swing. Trigger, draw a card. Do another Skyclave, so let's just go land and then just pass with Vial. Opponent activates the Barrens to make the Barrens a slightly larger creature than what it is. Okay. 4 mana for the ring, so then I Queller it, and then they blow Blast Zone up, and then they get the ring anyway. So it's probably better if I just Skyclave it instead. I guess if I Queller, then they're going to blow it up to get their ring, and then I Skyclave it so they don't get an illusion token. All right, so blue, white, white, Queller, and then get the ring, and then they're just going to blow up Blast Zone. Yep, so then these 2 die. I'm just going to fetch now. All right, so then these 2 die, and then they get the ring back. So they cast the ring, get the ring. All right, then we Vial in response. Put Skyclave into play, eat the ring so they don't draw a card. Now, they still have a Fog Emblem, so I can't attack them. I do still have to attack them for Curious Obsession, right? If you didn't attack, yeah. So I can Glass Pull Mimic, copying a Phantom. There's no reason to do that right now. I guess I should just do it anyway, though. So go to combat, swing. I guess I can just swing with anything, right? If you didn't attack. So swing with this Phantom. Then cast this as another Lord. I guess I can Vial it in as a Lord, right? Now I should just cast it as a Lord in case I want to Vial in Skyclave. Copy, Phantom. Pass the turn. All right, we somehow won. Even though they have 6 cards and 11 mana. All right, Spreading Seas, Pierce, Force of Vigor to kill map. What's bad? We mostly don't need to protect our creatures from them, so Rattle Chains, Kira. At least I assume. They're playing some kind of Tron deck. Oh, what else? Spell Callers for rings are still good. Lords are still good to beat them down faster. Supreme Phantoms are honestly just kind of really slow. If I cut all this, I have how many Coco hits? 4, 8, 22. That's too low. So I just not care about Aether Vial in this matchup, maybe? Just play everything to the board as fast as possible since we just need to beat them down. Nah, but it's good to like Vial in response to their rings. And I can't cut Coco if I need to Force of Vigor their stuff. All right, let's cut these and let's cut 1 Coco and 1 Phantom. And then our Coco hits are 4, 8, 11, 23, which is still way too low. Yeah, all right, so all right, let's do that. All right, keep this. We have Spreading Seas, Pierce. They play a map. All right, so let's fetch Temple Garden, Noble. Temple Garden, Shock, Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. And the next turn we can go Spreading Seas, hold Spell Pierce up. Land, Spreading Seas, your tower. All right, draw a card. Do I need to hold Pierce up? I don't even know if I'm going to have anything to Pierce, so let's just put Mausoleum Wanderer into play. Hallowed Fountain, Shock, Wanderer. They crack their map. Eldrazi Temple. Okay, so they are E-Tron. They just had like no creatures that last game somehow. Eldrazi Temple. Warping Whale on this thing. All right, back to us. So Thought Knot is pretty likely. So let's just play both of these guys. So this and this guy. then pass. They're dismembering the Phantom. Very well. Pithing Needle. Okay. Naming Mausoleum Wanderer. That's perfectly fine. All right, let's just Coco now. Try to put some lords into play. Fetch. Grabbing an island, I guess. Cast Coco. Double lords. And then these resolve, and then I get the Exalted trigger. All right, we won. This has certainly been the weirdest league we've played so far, right? All right, round 5, we're on the play. This hand is good. Keep this. 2-0 against boomer decks, I know, right? Well, the first one was a boomer deck. The last one was like, I don't even understand what's happening. Because they were playing Eldrazi Temple, and we never saw a single Eldrazi creature from them. Opponent molds to 6. All right, Plains, Aether Vial, go. Opponent, oh, it's Tron again. All right, tick Vial up. Cavernous Souls, name Spirit. And then I'm just going to flash in Rattle Chains and then Vial in Noble Hierarch. All right, pass the turn. Opponent plays Power Plant. Cracks the star for green. Cast Sylvan Scrying. Yep. Oh, actually, know what? I can counter that. Yeah, Vial, use the ability, put Mausoleum Wanderer in. Sack, counter. Huzzah! Rattle Chains. All right, back to us. So let's Vial in Noble Hierarch before this ticks up. All right, put that into play, then tick it up. I actually don't have the blue mana to Curious Obsession this now. Okay, now I do, but I think it's probably better to just hold up Spell Queller in case they play a map or something. All right, so go to combat, swing here, Exalted, take 3, go to 17. Map, Queller that. Queller that map. Well, they got Natron anyway. Chromatic Star, Crack, Relic, okay. Tick Vial up to 3 counters. We got Skyclave Apparition. All right, so let's Curious Obsession the Rattle Chains, and then go to combat. Swing with both of these guys. Opponent takes 5 down to 12. Draw a card off the Obsession trigger. We drew another Obsession, but I'm not going to run that out yet in case, I don't know, Sweeper or something happens. Relic us, sure. Exile that. Exile with Relic to draw a card. Well, if you were just going to exile it anyway, then okay. Cast Warping Whale to make a 1/1. Sure. Well, if they Ugin us, we're super screwed. 10 mana for Ulamog. Yeah. What's being hit? Both of these guys make sense. They get their map back. I guess I'm just going to Skyclave that. All right, eat the map. And then they have an Ulamog, and they're still at 12, and we have no way to attack them. All right, no tick-ups on the Vial. Well, we drew a Spell Queller. What can I even do with that, though? Nothing. So then Ulamog attacks us, and we go down to 28 cards left in the deck. All right, I guess just pass. If they attack us, and then we Queller something maybe, and then draw a Lord, we can maybe kill them. They also have to basically not do anything relevant with their next turn, or the turn after that. Tower, map. Is that a problem if they find Blast Zone? Map for Blast Zone, and then take up Blast Zone to some amount. I guess I'm Quellering it. All right, Vial. Put Queller into play, exile that. They attack us, we exile a ton of cards. 3 of our Cocos got hit. All right, no blocks. We're at 10. What's your follow-up? Sanctum of Ugin. Nothing. All right, no tick up on the Vial. We drew a land. Curious Obsession on the one creature that has flying. Combat, swing with both of these. Opponent goes to 7, and we draw a card. We drew an Aether Vial. Well, that's not going to do it. So, Aether Vial, play a land, go ahead. And then I have to chump Ulamog, and I have to exactly draw a Lord off the top. Forest, Ancient Stirrings, yeah. Oblivion Stone, all right, that does it. Okay, Tron, Spreading Sea, Spell Pierce, Force. This out, Coco out, this out. 4, 8, 9, 25, 23. These aren't great either, unless I go turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Skyclave, eat your map. All right, run this back. Game 2 on the play. All right, looks good. Keep. Opponent mulls to 6. So is the best move, I guess it's Noble, and then next turn Mausoleum plus Supreme Phantom. All right, so fetch a Breeding Pool, then cast Noble, then go. And then I can have Phantom plus Mausoleum Wanderer. Mausoleum can counter Sylvan Scryings and whatnot. Opponent plays a star. All right, fetch, shock, get Temple Garden, probably, or Hallowed Fountain. No, Hallowed Fountain. Shock that in. Then we go Phantom, play Mausoleum Wanderer, and then pass. And now the Mausoleum Wanderer can counter Sylvan Scrying if needed. Opponent cracks the star for green. Plays Ancient Stirrings. I'll let that resolve. Found Power Plant. Plays Power Plant. Plays another star. All right, back to us. We drew Spell Pierce. So let's go Phantom, and then Curious Obsession on this Phantom. Curious here. And then combat, swing, swing. And then we draw off the Phantom. It's a land, but it's a Cavernous Soul, so I can't hold Spell Pierce up, but that's fine. If they hit Tron, I can't Spell Pierce anything they're going to do anyway. Except for a Karn Lib, I guess. Cracking the Star for green. Ancient Stirrings. Okay, I'm going to counter that now. Blast Zone. Goes 2 mana for what? 1 mana for a map. Okay, so they get it next turn. We drew Force of Vigor. That doesn't actually help kill... I guess I can Force of Vigor it now, right? Yeah, I could do it now. So let's just attack first and see what happens. I could also Collected Company. So I'm dealing 5. Even if I hit 2 Lords, they're still not dead. So let's just attack first. Swing, swing. All right, they go to 8. We draw a card. Another Company. So their turn, if they don't have Tron, they go tap both of these, map for the tower. Then they have 5 mana. And then they can play a 5 mana spell. 4 to 5 mana spell. So it's probably better to just hold Company / Spell Pierce up. Unless okay, if I Force of Vigor it now, and they don't have the Tron, so I Force of Vigor it now, they don't have it. All right, let's just Force of Vigor it now. Green, green, tap, tap. All right, hope they don't just have natural Tron on their turn. Forest, so they can play the Ring or Karn the Great Creator. Sylvan Scrying for the last piece. Okay, Urza's Tower. All right, so I have to try to get lethal in this turn then. So let's go Cavernous Souls, name Spirit. I have to hold up Spell Pierce mana. So let's Company. All right, I hit Drogskull, Glasspool, so that's 2 Lords. And then the Glasspool enters as a copy of Supreme Phantom. And then we win. All right, game 3, probably running back the exact same thing. Skyclave is now too slow to pick off a map on turn 2. So it's possibly better to just have more Lords. All right, run it back. Double Curious Obsession, Aether Vial, Spell Queller. Nothing to Curious Obsession onto, even on turn 1. So let's mull this. All right, we have a Spreading Seas in hand and can't actually play it. I have a Curious Obsession and I can't actually play it. All right, mulligan again. No lands. Go to 4. All right, keep this and then put back the 3 drops and what else? I guess my plan is just to go like Wanderer. So, okay, keep this, put these back. It's just Wanderer, Curious Obsession, hope to get there. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing. Done. Opponent plays mine and passes. All right, Shockin', Hallowed Fountain, play Wanderer, go. Opponent has Tower and is just passing it back without doing anything. Well, if they have Warping Whale, they have Warping Whale. So, Curious Obsession, combat, swing. Go to 18, draw a card, and then just play a fetch land and pass. So I'm guessing they just have natural Tron since they didn't do anything. No, they don't. Oblivion Stone. Okay, well, we're going to kill that. Fetch, grabbing Temple Garden. All right, land, fetch. Just get all of the combinations of colors. I guess, okay, so they can't activate this unless they hit Tron next turn. Now, let's just do this immediately. Skyclave, target this, and then attack for 3. They go to 15, we'll draw a card, pass. Playing Relic, cycling the Relic, and they still don't have it. All right, let's just play Company. Fetch. My life total basically doesn't matter. Yeah, so just keep shocking. Cast Coco. Drogskull. Combat, swing for 10. Opponent goes to 5, draw a card. We have to fade 1 more turn. Relic, cracks the Relic. Plays a Forest. Oh my gosh, we got there. We got there on a mull to 4 on the draw against Tron. 3 and 2 with Spirits. All right, so many times over these leagues, I have said that we'd gotten a poor record, and I had attributed that to things like mulliganing, bricking on collected companies, just getting flooded, etc. This time we got 3 and 2, and the decks we beat were Boomer, D&T, green-white, an E-Tron deck that never played a single creature, and a Tron deck that just kept a hand that had no Tron assembled and no way to assemble it. So make of that what you will. Anyways, that is the state of Bant Spirits in Modern at the moment. And that brings us to the end of our final league of the day. We have been streaming for 9 hours and 45 minutes. So if you joined the chat today to watch these streams, I hope you enjoyed yourself. And I will see you back here tomorrow for more decks from the wheel. So stay tuned.